Breaking news into HQ. The New York Yankees and pitcher Carlos Rodón have agreed to a 6-year deal worth $162 million. Our Jim Bowden confirms. The two-time All-Star won a career-high 14 games with the Giants last season. He joins a Yankee staff that lost to the Astros in the ALCS. And for more, we say hello to our MLB insider, Jim Bowden. JB, the Pinstripes staying busy this offseason, landing one of the bigger remaining names in this free agency pool, especially when we're talking about starting pitchers. How did the Yankees emerge from this latest sweepstakes here for Rodón?
Well, this is a great offseason for Brian Cashman, the GM and president, as well as the owner, Hal Steinbrenner. They had 3 goals going into the offseason. Number 1 was to re-sign Aaron Judge. Number 2 was to try to land the best left-handed starting pitcher in the market in Carlos Rodón. And number 3 was to try to bring Andrew Benintendi back. Well, they've now checked the first 2 boxes. And the signing of Rodón is significant. As you mentioned, 6-year deal, $27 million per year, which totals $162 million. Now, last year, Carlos Rodón led all major league pitchers in fielding independent pitching and also strikeouts per 9 innings. That's significant. He's been healthy 2 years in a row, and we've got a guy that last year his fastball velocity was the highest it's ever been, as was the fastball spin rate. This is a true number 1 starter. Now, the Yankees had to get by the Astros to get to the World Series last year. They weren't able to do it. So what's happened this offseason? Well, the Astros lost the Cy Young Award winner in Justin Verlander, and what do the Yankees do? They add Carlos Rodón. That is a big difference between these two teams when you try to fast forward to a short series in October. Houston, you got a problem now. Look at the rotation the Yankees have put together here, Joe. Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodón, Nelson Cortez, Luis Severino, and Frankie Montas. That 5-man rotation you're looking at right there, good enough to run the table and win the World Series, in my opinion. This is a big day if you're a Yankee fan. And remember this, when they signed Aaron Judge said he wanted to make sure they improved the team. He didn't want to be the only acquisition this offseason. The Yankees promised him they were going to make this team better. Well, they sure did it today with Rodón.
They most certainly did here, addressing a need and shoring up that rotation that, as you just outlined, is one of the meaner ones across the bigs. To step away from the deal for a moment here and just to focus on Rodón, what his career trajectory has looked like here over this last half decade, it's truly astounding. I mean, can you speak to the pitcher that he has become? You calling him a true number 1 from where he was just some 4 years ago?
Yeah, that's a great question, Joe, because remember when he was drafted, he was a first-round pick, and he had all the stuff in the world, but he didn't have command, he didn't have control, and then he had a lot of shoulder problems, a lot of health issues, which really curtailed his career. But it also helped him. Why? Because it allowed him to become mechanically sound. And when you look at what he has been able to do the last couple of years, he's figured out how to have a consistent delivery that has taken the stress off of the shoulder and off of the elbow, and the results have absolutely been staggering. That fastball that he's got, the breaking ball, all of his pitchers, they're now dominant pitchers. And he continues to try to learn and get better. More importantly, he's healthy now. And I think there's no reason to believe that at least the front end of this contract, he'll continue to pitch the way he has the last 2 years, which is a number 1 starter.
Yeah, some deceiving and powerful stuff coming out of that hand as of late. We'll see what it looks like in pinstripes. We do have to address the larger picture here for the Yankees. You alluded to it earlier, but north of $500 million here already committed to players over the last couple of weeks. This front office not done just yet. You alluded to Andrew Benintendi. What's next, and how do they get those deals done?
Yeah, they'd like to bring Andrew Benintendi back. Left field is the biggest position they're looking at right now. And what they really want to do is to create traffic at the top of the lineup. Remember, Aaron Judge had to lead off a lot of times last year. And when you have a guy that hits 62 homers, you don't want those homers to be solo homers, right? You want guys on base. Well, that's why they traded for Andrew Benintendi at the trade deadline. He was hitting 300. He was getting on base on a 35% clip. They would like to bring him back if they can. So that's next on their agenda, because if they can bring him back and if DJ LeMahieu can get healthy, Benintendi and LeMahieu creating traffic ahead of Judge in the lineup is going to help this team score a lot more runs. Now, they also have issues in the infield they're trying to navigate through. Does LeMahieu play third and Donaldson kind of back him up? Is Peraza or Falefa going to be the shortstop? Is Gleyber Torres going to be at second? Or is Volpe going to be ready to compete there? I mean, there are still some questions in the infield, but I was told about 2 weeks ago that they wanted to re-sign Judge. They were hoping to be able to land Rodón and bring Benintendi back. So that's where their focus is going to be. And then finally, I was told they really want to continue to improve their bullpen, especially that depth of the bullpen. So besides Benintendi, after that, look for them to try to get some upgrades and some pitching depth of that bullpen.
And we will continue to come to our Jim Bowden for all the latest. Thank you, JB.
Thanks, Joe.
Oh, how the rich get richer. Taking a look at the odds to win the World Series, updated odds after this most recent addition to the staff of the New York Yankees. Now 8-1 to win it all, third best odds. They were plus 850 prior to the acquisition of Carlos Rodón.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.